live.
We're live. What's up, everybody? We are live. Welcome back to Out Reptiles. My name is Garrett Hartle. I can't see myself on the screen over here. I don't want to miss out.
I tried to set it up.
Oh, it's not working. It says it's waiting. It says I'm not live. Oh, here we go. What's up, everybody? All right. Well, we're getting kind of back settled into things. Boy, it was been a crazy with the holidays and the new year. You guys know what's up. And then we just did a little trip up. It's pretty cool to go see Nerd. Their behind the scenes stuff is all, closed up and everything. So it opened up the opportunity for us to get up there and hang out. So I got to go see Dave Kaufman, Brian Cusco, Kevin, and Bradley Macalea, and all that kind of stuff. It was really cool. Rob came along. We had a good time. So we're going to actually have a video up for you guys. You know, one of the things I was most excited about is that I'd never been to Nerd before, which I think is just crazy considering who they are and how long I've been doing this. And obviously Kevin's done a lot of crazy stuff for the retic industry for sure, looking at the morphs that he's produced and a lot of the genetic stuff that he's been able to discover, cows and all that crazy stuff. And you know, he's a funny guy. I think sometimes he doesn't communicate stuff very clearly online. So I always have the feeling like, I don't know with this guy. I don't know what's up. We should probably hit the off buttons on those. Some of these genetics and stuff seem kind of fishy to me. But I'll tell you, I've heard other people go there, like especially in regards to ball pythons, being like, what's this, the odium ball or whatever. I don't believe it. And then when they get there, they love it. And so, when I went there, like the biggest thing that was like an aha thing to me was the Calico Cow project, all those crazy paradoxes. I didn't quite understand. I just thought he was throwing some and trying to charge more for it because I'm a skeptic like that. But when I looked at it and we talked to them and kind of traced the bloodlines back, they all came from a source that makes a whole lot of sense as to why they are what they are. So that was a pretty cool project. I mean, of course, seeing the monitors and the dwarf caimans, oh my goodness. If you have $1,500 and room for like a 10-foot enclosure in your house, turn off of this live broadcast and go buy a dwarf caiman right now. Those things are so cute, really impressive. You know, I mean, I love all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of like getting my fix, my big lizard, big snake fix. I don't miss having all the giant, I mean, as impressive as it is to go see like a 16, 17-foot cow retic, I don't miss throwing that stuff around. I'm too old for that. So I like my little guys. They're pretty cool. What's up, everybody? Hey, Holden, Lori, how you doing? Ginger, or should I say Ryan? I never know. Summer, how's it going, everybody? Chris Sexton is here. How's it going? And Wind Serpents, Duran, as usual. How's everybody doing? So that was pretty cool. I know I talked with some of you guys asking about what you wanted to see at Nerd, and we were able to film some pretty fun stuff. This Friday, though, the video that's going to go up is we just kind of showed up. His facility is awesome. You guys know I wanted a new facility so bad. So I might have done that from my perspective a little bit and just kind of walked through and saw the floor plan. The whole downstairs is pet shop. The whole upstairs is the operation. And then Kevin actually lives there. By the way, Jess is here, everybody. Say hi, Jess. Yeah, he actually lives, like, upstairs, which seems weird to me, except I live upstairs.
Does it seem that weird, though?
Yeah, probably not as weird as I think. But yeah, so he lives upstairs there, and so it's like 24/7 nerd, you know. So, but anyways, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Whew.
Thomas said you skipped over him.
Oh, man, Thomas. Hello, Thomas.
And you have a super chat.
A super chat? Woohoo! Cal, every day with the Chris Garlic. Okay, I'll bring them both out so you guys can see. Here's my dance. Woo! Oh. We got two cows. I got a cowboy and a cowgirl. Oh, no.
Which one's the oh no?
Well, one of them's in blue. So, we're okay. But here's our cowboy right here, looking pretty good. Chris, he's getting lots of...
It's dark over here.
Oh, he's dark. I'll go right here. How about this? Turn the camera this way a little bit. How's that?
Yeah, it's better.
So he's slowly getting some more spots. Maybe not even slowly, but they're actually getting a ton of pattern. Like if you watch these guys over a black light now, you can see all kinds of like crazy, almost like tiger retic pattern on a cow. So there's that dude. He's done. He's gone. You guys can't buy him. But the female is actually available. She's deep in blue. You can see those foggy eyes.
Her spots come in so much quicker than...
She's getting a lot more heavily patterned. Look at that big spot right there. Tons of yellow too. I don't know how easily it shows up on camera while she's in blue, but like look at the back pattern. Can you see it, Jess? Where it looks like retic pattern in yellow on white. That's pretty cool. I always thought that like, ooh, I want a golden child cow because they're like white with the spots, but I don't know. I like the little yellow on them. What do you think?
Looks like somebody took a highlighter down her back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty neat to see the crossovers, and we'll have to do the black light thing. I got some video for you guys.
Stripey than that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's striped out, and she has like classic retic pattern almost, as far as being a cow. But you can see it. Like look in here, looking right here, you guys. Look at this classic retic pattern. That's like yellow on white. I think it's crazy.
Ginger wants to know if we're naming a snake today.
Uh-oh, we got another super chat.
And a super chat.
Woo! Benjamin, what's going on?
Two super chats.
No, that was the first one. Oh, why are there two now? Oh, Tara, it is two super chats. Okay, super chat dance. I'll try to not throw snakes around like Aiden did last week, right? Hey! Why are there two now? There were always two. There was a boy and a girl, and we were only ever going to sell they're from the same clutch. We were only ever going to sell the boy. And then later I decided that I would put the girl up for sale as well. So this female, she's almost a year old now, but she is for sale. So the boy is not for sale. The female is still for sale. There were always two. It's just that there was only one for sale at once upon a time. So, show you the cow in the black light. That would be great if I could. I don't think I have a black light here.
I did.
Woohoo! Thanks for the super chat. Do we have one? You gonna find one?
I thought
We grabbed one once upon a time, but I don't know where it's at. Okay, here's my summer dance. Yay! That was for you, Benjamin. We got a really good shot. One thing that was kind of crazy, we noticed that the albino cows, like, just glow in the dark insanely on a black light while we were at Nerd. So I did take a video of that, and that'll work out a lot better for you than the live feed anyways, just because of the quality of it. So you'll be able to see some of the funky pattern that ultraviolet light throws. It should be pretty good. I don't know how well it would work on one that was deep in blue anyway.
Up on the shelf.
Do you want to put these guys back for me? This is the female. Yeah. So, we'll definitely do that, and we'll do some more of that. It was funny when they first hatched, we did the black light thing, and there was nothing. Like, Thomas, you remember if you were watching. Remember when we tried to do black light on the cow and it was like not all that great? There was nothing really going on. But I think it's because they literally, like, I thought maybe all that pattern is hidden, like white on white, and then it darkens over time. But that's not it. They just literally are like a straight white leucistic when they hatch, and then as they grow, they get the yellow and stuff on there. So pretty crazy. Good looking stuff. Ginger, yes, we are going to name two of the snakes towards the end of the live feed, right?
Yes.
We got to get through some of your guys' questions first.
Two this week.
So, we're going to name a boy and a girl. I got 1.5 billion snakes to name, so we're going to run with it, and we'll let you guys kind of come up with some names for us towards the end of the live feed. We'll show you which snakes we're talking about, ask for some names, and I'll randomly pick one off of there that may or may not be yours. So, yeah. Thomas says it's disappointing they're showing up now. Yeah, wait, Thomas, I'm uploading the video to you so you can see that blacklight video in the folder there. Check it out. It's insane. Like, they are so cool. They just needed to wait until they were a little bit older, you know what I mean? So, Jessica has some questions for you guys. So we do a community post on our YouTube thing. So when you're scrolling through YouTube and you see it, and we'll ask what kind of questions you guys want to cover each week. So you can go ahead and do that. We're going to do a post like that tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. So tomorrow you guys can jump on there and throw your questions out, or if you so choose, you can go ahead just as we have been and throw them up here as well. I see Natalia is talking to you. She's like, hey, you didn't take my names, but she is named Natalia. It's right there on the tub. So yeah, we named one of our females Natalia. It was a Karrampa too, huh? Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. It's like the world's first captive bred Karrampa is named after you. Can't be that bad. So, oh, look at Thomas has got a side business going on in the comment section there, getting access to early videos. You know, Duran, you're on Patreon. You get early access already. But anyway.
So Ryan wants to know, have you noticed a big increase in business due to the rebrand?
That's kind of an interesting question. Well, okay, so with the rebrand, we obviously started running a lot of product. And so all of that would be an increase, yes. Like, we've got the nice sweaters and the hats and the shirts. We have new stuff going up on the website already. We have a new design that's not out yet that we're going to talk about. Is that next week's live? The week after that?
Next week or the week after?
No, yeah, it's coming up here pretty soon anyway. And we're launching it with a little bit of a charity booster attached to it. So that'll be really fun. You guys will definitely want to get involved with that. But anyway, all the swag rebrand stuff, that's been great. Thank you guys for your support. If you haven't gotten something yet, definitely check it out. Our goal is to create new streams of income kind of in community with you guys. So the super chats are a big part of that. Buying the swag, things like that. And what that allows us to do is remove pressure from, having to make money on snake sales, which is still the majority of our business. I mean, primarily we're still a snake breeder. If I can move away from that, then I can start to, I can maintain like kind of the hobbyist style breeding that I've done all the time. I don't have to worry about like politics or, just demand of random things. Like I don't have to make kind of like cheap stuff just to make it and have those bread and butter snakes pumping out into the industry. I'd rather have be like low volume of really high quality snakes, even if they don't, even if they're less expensive snakes. I just want everybody to get a really fantastic animal, and I don't have to like produce just to produce because we need to make money with the business. So the rebrand, the business has been great. I think the rebrand's a big part of it. It certainly makes us doing promotional stuff way easier. So yeah, if anyone's trying to start up their own reptile businesses, it's funny. I think if you talk to somebody like we got ours done with Stewart Design, you talk to someone like that, if you're not used to it or you don't understand really what you're paying for, it can seem expensive, but honestly, it's the cost of a couple of snakes that I'm used to buying, and you get, a really nice rebrand, very professionally done. I mean, you can see the brand all over the place. This was sent to us by, who sent it? What was,
Josh Sampson.
Josh Sampson and
his mom, Chris, made it.
And his mom, Chris. This was pretty cool. Little light box. I always turn it on, and then I turn the light switch off, but I always end up plugging it into the outlet that's connected to the same switch. I'm like, yeah, let's watch it glow in the dark, and then I turn it off. I turn everything off. How many times have I done that now, Jess?
4 or 5.
I was going to say 1 or 2, but, maybe 4 or 5 is more accurate. Anyway, it really helps with that kind of stuff. So, I should have done it. My original thought was like, I want to do a really cool, big thank you to you guys. This thing looks great.
Thomas thinks it would be good for a YouTube background.
Yeah, well, it is. Guess what? We're doing it right now. Haha, you saw it here first. But yeah, my thought was like I wanted like a hand design. The old logo I thought was really cool because I designed it myself, and it's got a million details packed into it and all that kind of stuff, and it's like represents everything I want. And then I thought I would play like the big guys. Like if you go look at the first year logo design from Apple Computer, for example, it's like this old retro sketchy picture of an apple falling on the head of Sir Isaac Newton or something like that. And I like it. I mean, I designed it. I wouldn't like it. But other than making a sticker like this or a big giant shirt, it's really not that useful. And so when we redesigned it here, I mean, one of the things that I learned, you know, that I kind of disagreed with in the beginning and agree with now after having gone through it myself, Blake was telling me, you know, it's really not about drawing all these little details that have obscure meanings to you as an owner. It's about people's ability to look at something and recognize that branding immediately and in a useful way. And yeah, I mean, it's true. I tried to pretend like because I drew a picture, this actually means something. And the truth of the matter is, and I'm sure all of you guys watching this know this, the meaning behind Reach Out Reptiles is who we are and what we do and why we're here and why we do it. Give the video a thumbs up if you agree with that. Really doesn't matter what the picture looks like. I could have the most professional picture in the world, and if I'm a scumbag, it's just putting lipstick on a pig is all it is. The true value is the people and the brand and you guys as the community. And without that, it's nothing. It really doesn't matter what the brand looks like. But as far as doing the rebrand, that is important for that professional look and, you know, being able to market yourself moving into the future. So I should have done it from day one. I just should have. Although it is a good story. I love Blake came over as a customer first to buy a dwarf retic. And I love the story where he's like, hey, who did your logo? And people ask me that all the time with the old logo. And I was like, I did. You know what I mean? Because everyone's like, I really like that logo. Except Blake's like,
it sucks.
Pretty much, yeah. I said, I did it. Why? You know? And I'm like, wait, you know, bring the compliments. It's okay. And he's like, oh, yeah, it's a good illustration. And I was like, wait a minute, that sounded like a backhanded insult, not a compliment. What's going on? And he's like, well, yeah, that's what I do for a living.
You got a super chat.
Oh, man, Derek, that's true, too. Amel's right, meow. Let's go see him. I'm going to dance with you guys this time. Jessica! Oh, this is really exciting, guys. This is exciting stuff. Derek, thank you for shouting this one out. So we have Daddy Boy over here. He's in timeout currently. I'm going to try to not get bit by him because we were feeding rats a second ago. So if you check this guy out.
Is that the timeout box?
Timeout box. Yep, he got thrown in here for timeout. Amel, indisputable from the eyes. Excuse the little poops there, guys. That's what you get for a live video. And that famous, very high white Amel. Look at the flashlight on there. That's crazy. That's like nuclear white. Yeah, you say Amel is the best. Whatever. They are cool. I like them. I just have so much albino stuff I don't want to start over. That's really all it is. But this is what happened while we were gone at Nerd. Can you see that? Here, we can open her up. So over the weekend, this little girl laid. This is a het Amel female owned by Theron Lance. She's, 50% Kalatoa dad. The dad I just showed you, the visual, is one of the very first visual Superdwarf Amels ever produced. He's an old man. But this is a later generation 50% Kalatoa. Look how small she is. That's a female on eggs, guys. This is crazy. So I have the Amel male, not really because I necessarily like the morph, but I am in love with the bloodline. And when I got the opportunity to own one of the original males, I jumped on it. So anyway, Theron's a buddy of mine. He sent her up here. What has it been now? Probably a year or two. And we've just been kind of growing her up. And to be honest with you, Theron, I like you, but I don't know why I did this breeding loan. I don't usually take random females from people and raise them up, but Theron's a good guy. My friend Chris McVickers was like, hey, take care of this guy. So I said, let's do this. We'll have some fun. So we bred her, and now I like Theron, and I'm glad that not that I didn't like you before, but I'm extra glad that I talked to him about it because she was on these eggs for about 2 days, and we didn't want to pull them. We put this nest box in here because we did a DIY video on how to build a nest box. And so we threw it in, but these shelves have a little lip right here. So I can't just slide that thing out. You know what I mean? I have to lift it up over. And I don't know if you can tell, but she's piled pretty tall up there.
To the top.
And the second I touch her, she's like, this is like reminds me of hunting chuckwallas in the desert, just inflates herself and you can't get it. So I was like, boy, this is going to be an interesting egg pulling. And one thing I've been wanting to do forever and I just never had the cojones to go through with it is maternal incubation, where you let the mom take care of it. But Theron was all for it. You're the man, Theron. So that's what we're going to do with her. And some of you guys, if you follow us on Instagram, you probably saw a lot of that stuff on the story. We're going to change some things up in there. We're having to do a lot to add humidity and stuff. So we're actually going to go with some, Cocoa Blocks substrate and things like that to crank the humidity up for her and make sure, especially in such a big cage, that she is able to do that. But I am really excited. I've allowed pythons to do maternal incubation before, but it's been since the 90s since I've done this. And I've never done it with a super dwarf. So I'm super excited to do that. Motley Annery, 50%.
Troy says go maternal.
Yeah, like I said, I was chicken, but I'm really excited to do. I mean, I know they're capable of it. It's just that kind of like giving up control is hard to do sometimes. So yeah, I'm really excited. Thank you, Theron, for allowing me to have that kind of experience and opportunity. We'll hatch those out. They are due. Let me look it up. Let's see. The Amels were our 11th clutch laid this season. They're due March 30th, and obviously it's a visual to a het. So if you want some, like original bloodline Super Dwarf Amel stuff, bred into the newer modern, small stuff, then hit us up at the end of March. We should have half a clutch of Amels, half a clutch of het Amels, and those het Amels will be, very affordable as well, and really good bloodlines. So if you love the wild type stuff, like a het Amel male from that clutch might be one of the ultimate Super Dwarf pets that you can have.
Well, you have the clutches up there. Ryan wanted to know, what are some of the potential babies in the incubator that you're most excited about?
All right. Well, so we're up to 14 clutches so far this year. We're getting started. That's really good. I was very happy to see a couple of females that I was doubting are like full of eggs. In particular, one pure Calatoa that you guys might remember, G.I. Joe, belongs to G.I. Joe, that we're breeding for him while he's deployed and he's out in Korea. So I'm really excited to get a clutch off of her. I know he wants those things bad.
I missed his comment. He wants to see his pure Calatoa.
Who's?
Joe. Oh.
The female? Aren't you supposed to be driving right now, man? You're in Korea watching us? Oh, okay. I didn't know he was actually here. I'll show you. But you have to super chat. Otherwise, I can't do anything for you. I'm sorry. But anyway, so that was a really cool one. And then even as I was talking to you on the phone earlier, Joe, Rob was showing me all these females that were supposed to have been bred by pretty important animals that were like back on food. So that's not a good sign for them being gravid. So so I mean, you guys have been following this story. Number one priority for me out of the gate is to make Madus. That will be the 6th locality that we work with as Pures. We did 5 in 2020. I'm so proud of that. So pure, legitimate Madus, or for those of you old timers might know those as Honey Island retics. They've not been made since that female was born, which was about 10 years ago. So that's really exciting. And the reason I've been trying to do that, like with those 5 other localities that we worked with this past year, I saved a couple of males and a group of females just so that I can have complete groups. And I'm trying to get as many bloodlines as possible. In some cases, it's not possible, but where it is, I have been. But complete breeding groups of each of the 7 dwarf and super dwarf localities. We have the 7 localities on a poster on our website, at the risk of sounding like we're continually promoting ourselves. But it's pretty cool. And so I want to have a group of each of those animals just so that I can make sure that we're continually moving forward with that stuff and that they do not ever, as long as it's up to me, experience like near extinction like they already have. So we're trying to bring all that stuff back. So that's easily the most important. The little albino girl that laid, Richard Bilbo albino female, laid, bred to Curly Fry, my boy. He's my Mochino. And so she's super high percentage and very small. And he came from a nice super dwarf female, but he's only 25% super dwarf with some jamp on top. So these will make 50% Superdorf Mochinos. We got a really tiny clutch from a first-time female. Half of them will be Mochinos. I have not made those for 4 years. We made some Mochinos, but they were Dwarf and Superdorf last year, and I was only able to sell one. So, yeah, I don't know. That stuff's really cool. We got some more Orange Ghost Stripe stuff coming this year. That's really cool to see that project developing. Oh, here's a cool one from selective breeding standpoint. Last year when I was talking to Dr. Winslow Murdoch, he actually gave me one of his original captive bred Kayawati males. And it was his holdback. The guy is phenomenal. That's the founder of my favorite bloodline. And he doesn't have any females anymore, so he didn't have anything to do with his male. But the Kayawatis are, and I'll definitely use him as my Kayawati group gets old enough to breed my unrelated bloodlines in. But in the meantime, super chat right now?
Yes.
Who was it?
It was Joe Hall. He said, here's your super chat.
This is for you, Joe. Woo, yeah. Anyway, in the meantime, not Joe, now you're getting me all confused. Rob has a beautiful Jamp Sunfire Platinum Het Anery at his place that we bred the pure Kayawati male. And this Kayawati male, like, he's the reddest retic I've ever seen. His back stripe is like this. He's over at Rob's house right now. But so there'll be 50% Kayawati plus 25% Jamp Sunfire Platinums. And just from a color selective breeding standpoint, they're going to be the tops. Let's go show him his female. We might have to climb into this cage a little bit here, guys. Oh, so she's right down here.
We're not climbing in.
She used to live over here where this titanium male is now, but they migrated over to here. Hi, buddy. How you doing? So she's down here. Come on. Let's go. Here she is. Oh, and I think she's ovulating right now. I don't know how well you can see on camera, but this whole section right here is giant. Look how the rest of her is this tall, and that part's like that tall. I know, baby. I was interrupting her earlier. She's all mad. She wants to be left alone with her little gross mama squeeze juice dripping down the front of her cage. But yeah, she is huge, and let me see here. I'm gonna mess with the camera. Jessica loves when I do this. Let's loosen that up. Get this tripod out of the way. There we go. All right, guys. Sorry, you're going in. You're going in. Up close and personal. There she is. Look at that massive lump. You see it all right there? Big, big, huge. Now, it's not too close to the tail. I mean, obviously, it's well behind where a food lump would be. But, yeah, down towards the tail. Once it starts moving down that way, I expect her to shed again in a couple of weeks. And that should be her prelay shed. And then we'll be good to go. So that's her. She's looking good. While you're at it, this girl obviously just had her prelay shed. And don't worry, guys. We clean cages on Thursdays. It was probably a bad idea to do live videos on Wednesdays. This is what 1 week's worth of retic playing around in looks like. But this is a Lav Kayawati girl that is also loaded. So that one is one of yours too, Joe. So I should probably put locks on these cages before we go back in there. All right, what's our next question, Jess?
No, it's crooked. Actually, while you're in here, Chris Gear wanted you to show off OGS and het OGS.
Well, I don't have any het OGS yet. Here's the OGS.
Crooked.
Yeah, I'm talking about eggs, not babies that hatch. Nothing's hatched for this season yet. Hey, buddy. Well, this guy's in super mondo breeding mode. But this is our Superdorf Orange Ghost Stripe male. He's a Pos Het Anery. We're going to try to prove him out. He's 50% Kalatoa. He's a pretty boy. And so he's doing some work with the ladies. And hopefully we'll have some Orange Ghost Stripe stuff, some cow stuff. I love Orange Ghost Stripe even by itself, like outside of the cow project. So we've got, because it's just, they have such beautiful color. So we're breeding them into some color projects and some high percentage stuff too. But yeah, the ones that we have in the incubator now, just one small clutch. It's like 10 eggs. And it's going to be, we ran the OGS and a GC OGS to a het OGS female. So we'll be making 50% Kalatoa OGS stuff, possibly with Golden Child in it. So we shall see. Those aren't due until like April though, so we're a ways out.
So Natalia wants to know, has the pandemic changed any aspect of the reptile industry that you think will persist into the future?
Oh, that's a
good
really
question. Yeah.
That's pretty deep. This crooked camera is driving me
You
crazy.
made it crooked.
Well, I'm gonna uncrook it right now. Boy, that's a pretty big one. I don't know. You know, I will say this. I think probably pre-pandemic, there were a lot of people, like we've always done a lot of sales online. The reason why is I love to have an animal leave my place and get to your place in the shortest period of time possible with no exposure to other animals or people or illnesses or anything like that. And but there are a lot of reptile vendors that before the pandemic strictly did reptile shows. I mean, I love going to reptile shows. I love meeting people. I don't just necessarily like dragging my animals there because, like I said, you have all that exposure, the stress on the animals. And if you are going to sell something you didn't plan on, it was probably an impulse buy. And I just don't like selling my animals on impulse buy. I would rather the customers get a hold of us and have a conversation, make sure they're getting the right animal for them and everything like that so that, you know, the animals end up in good homes. But so it may not have changed that much for us, but I think the reptile industry, big time, people had to kind of put their millennial pants on and figure out how to do their businesses online. And because if it was online, if it wasn't online, it was nothing. And so that has changed a lot. You know, the other thing that's kind of interesting is without reptile shows, you don't get to browse so many tables. So if you aren't intimately familiar with, like, let's say the popularity of certain projects or something, you could pretty easily be duped because you know of one guy online that did something, but there could be 10 other people who also did that thing. So if you're investing in like really rare genetics and you're not like at a reptile show, you can be like, wow, that's so cool. But then if you walk through, I know I experience this with ball pythons every time I go, and I see that same snake on like 30 tables, I'm like, I don't know, a lot less excited to invest in a project like that. But online, if you only got representation from one person, you're more susceptible. I would say that's probably the biggest thing, is just people taking their business online, which I think overall is a good thing. You just have to know what you're doing as a buyer. Only buy from breeders that you trust. So many people this year, guys. I mean, we've heard so many stories of either people being duped by scammers, you know, sold snakes that don't exist, misrepresented animals, or people that just don't have experience shipping. We're like, I mean, how many nightmare stories do we hear over the week of Christmas where people tried to ship live animals that week of Christmas?
Yeah,
and they were like 3 and 4 days delayed and frozen weather and stuff like that, you know, from inexperienced shippers, you know, things like that. So it was a crazy year for buyers for sure. What's the next question?
Where are we at?
What's going on, John?
Oh, Henry had this question. This is in our title. It's another good one. If you had $2,000, what would you, Garrett, buy from this season and why?
Henry, you made the title question. Congratulations.
He's got a lot of comments. We've had comments the whole time. What would they buy for $2,000?
Yeah. Oh gosh, $2,000 is a great amount of money to play with, like for super dwarfs.
John Feely said $2,000 wouldn't pay for the snake I want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in that boat too, John, but it's still interesting to say if you were going to give me $2,000 of credit to run through my own racks, what would I get? Oh,
Donnie says black-headed python.
That's cool. I don't have any of those, but that buys you a pretty nice blackhead python. Let me see. I'm looking through my current price list, which is like I have almost nothing left. I should probably go back. We do have a few pretty cool
about
animals.
Just the whole season, even if they sold.
Well, that's what I'm trying to find, like a snapshot from.
Summer
earlier
says
in the
another
year.
pure SD, but a female.
Yeah, big time. Especially for you, that would be great. And I mean, anybody and everybody can always use another pure super dwarf. If you ask me, they're so cool. you know, and like having females, it's got to be one of the most flexible, you know, breeder animals out there.
I'm not sure where this Buenacuva is, but they said if I had $2,000 now, I could buy 3 pure Karampa babies here.
That's pretty cool. They're probably in Indonesia. I think that's the only place you would possibly be able to buy those.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be great. Buy me a couple of them too, would you?
Arctic Python says Motley Anery 50% Super Dwarf Kalatoa.
Anery Motley is definitely an Anery Motley Tiger is probably just a little bit over $2,000 for, you know, and some of these prices, guys, like if you're just buying a morph, if you're like, I want a small golden child or whatever, that can be had. If you get a dwarf, like we should have dwarf and super dwarf golden childs hatching out like beginning of April probably. I mean, that's a very beautiful, reasonable, you can get like probably a 9-foot give or take on a male for like $750. If you want that thing to be 50% calato or higher, you're probably more looking at like $1,500, you know. And then as you start going, like people want like Motley golden child that's not going to get over 7 feet or whatever. Now you're that's crazy talk, but and those get pretty expensive. I don't know. The Anery Phantoms blew me away this year. We only got them in 75% Super Dwarf, so they were pretty high. But if I could make them again in like 50% Super Dwarf, an Anery Phantom might be crouching down to that $2,000 mark for like a future season. Those things are beautiful, guys. And with all the Platinum Anery stuff out there, Platinum Anery Phantom is going to be next level. That was a big one. I mean, you guys know me. I love Anerys. Motley Tigers are phenomenal. Anery Motley Tigers. G.I. Joe, you got a good one out there. Maybe one of the better ones, if not the best one. Those are great. Oh. Ooh, look at these. We had 62.5% Kalatoa Platinum Tiger Het Snow females for $1,800 this season. You guys were sleeping if you didn't end up with one of those. I actually did keep one. Do you know where she's at, the Platinum Tiger?
No.
She's kind of in the Freedom Breeder rack, maybe like mid-height towards the left. It's like maybe the second one over. It says Platy Tiger. Pink label. Let's see if she can find it. We'll see how good Jess is at shopping through the racks for you guys. That's a heck of an animal. It's high percentage Super Dwarf. Anything over 50% is high percentage. Platinum Tiger are probably visually just, yeah, like drop in the bucket, beautiful. Everybody can agree they're phenomenal. She's a little bit older now, so her yellow will start to be kicking in. So you got 2 codoms, and then you got 2 recessives of the albino and the Anery. So it's like she's gorgeous now, and she's going to make even better stuff in the future. This might be it for me right here. And some of the cost, I mean, you can get cheaper platinums and stuff like that, but this one's really high percent Super Dwarf. And so obviously size-wise, that's a huge benefit. I mean, she's a year old now. She's about as big around as my thumb. She's like a hatchling mainland. But I don't know. Look at that. She's got like dark root beer colored eyes, probably from the head Anery. And then this Platinum Tiger, like, can you guys see the high saddle count? She's just got tons of pattern crammed in her. And that's a Super Dwarf influence thing. And so as you get the higher and higher percentage Super Dwarf, the other thing is like, see how she's trying to have a black dorsal stripe, like a single scale wide right down the spine? It's trying to connect all the way down. The Tiger kind of breaks it up. But what's cool is when you crank, because Tiger wants to stripe stuff out, and the Super Dwarf wants to pull it back together. So especially with Tiger, when you cram it into higher and higher percentage Super Dwarfs, it really starts to make really cool Tigers, even if you're not like a Tiger person. And then Platinum is great because it just cleans it up a little bit, brightens it up a little bit, but you still have those classic retic patterns. It's just like a little extra punch and pizzazz. So kind of subtle, kind of classic, but when you run these things higher and higher and higher, that's the way to go. So I don't know, for me, I mean, it's got to be a female. I would rather have a lower morph female than a higher end male, just because I'm breeding. If you were, if you had a pet, if it was a pet animal, you could probably get like Anery Motley golden child stuff, some pretty epic stuff for a male for $2,000. But I think this might be it for me. You like her?
Yeah.
It's a good one, right?
She's pretty. She looks more yellow on camera than.
Does she?
Yeah.
Then in real life,
Like a
that's
brighter.
unusual. Usually they're the opposite.
More
Maybe
green.
it's the lighting.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she is like a greeny yellow. You can kind of see that head anery coming through. We had some really high percentage super dwarf aneries. Duran, you're watching. I know you got one of those. Those were a little more than 2,000, but I'm stretching the budget already. We did do some platinum aneries, probably one of my classic favorite, like 2-color combinations, because that's when you really get the blue and green kind of looks to them. And females were $2,000 at 62.5% super dwarf. So we had some really good animals. Like we had 50% super dwarf lav, tiger, posset snow. So we're only $1,500 this year, guys. Where were you? Where were you? You could have a yearling female of that by now.
Jared says you have plans to breed more pure slayers.
Pure slayers. Yeah, I'm not gonna make a ton of them. We had 2 really small clutches this year, which was great. They were 100%. You want her back? Yeah, we can hang with her for a while. She looks good. I'm gonna hang with my favorite $2,000 snake. We had a couple of Slayer clutches, so I got 2 unrelated bloodlines that look different as far as, as much as a pure Slayer can. But really, really good looking. I made everything that I need to hold back. And of course the babies did sell right away, but Slayers are a little bit bigger. There's not a bunch of people, like I cleared my waiting list out. Everybody that wanted this Slayer pretty much got one. I think I might have only been a couple people short. So I am going to attempt 1 Slayer clutch this season. But it's not a huge focus. In fact, we even took one of our Slayer females and we attempted, I love platinum in Slayer. So we have a 50% Slayer platy tiger that's also 25% jam. I wanted to run him back to Slayer so they'd be 87.5% dwarf. Most of that Slayer, pos head anery, crazy yellows. She reabsorbed. But that was one case where like I used a pure locality female to make a cross, which is very unusual. But because I already had a couple of clutches and everything I needed, I don't want to overproduce any one thing. Nevertheless, I maintain a bunch of Slayers. I want to be able to make them at any point. She's got a little tiny shed on the end of her tail, and then my OCD is kicking my butt. I gotta pluck it off. So I don't want to overproduce. Why, Jared? You want some Slayers? They were $2,500 a pair. They would probably be the same. If you want them, jump on the waiting list. It's a good time to get on. And they're not too far behind. So I like to just maintain like just enough of the snakes like as people are interested in that stuff. I think Slayers are on the rise. I don't know why people don't realize how amazing they are. Maybe just because they've never seen them. I mean, there's a lot of really cool stuff out there that just doesn't get the exposure. So I know Zach Nava is working with Slayer stuff, developing that market and everything like that. They're going to be phenomenal. But I want to wait until you guys. So here's kind of the thing: they were easier to get this year and less expensive for those people who knew what Slayers were, wanted them, and got them. As markets develop, like if you look at what's happened to the price of Kalatoas over the years, as more and more people realize like how crazy cool these pure little tiny super dwarves are, the market's gone up. It's driven the prices on them up. They're getting to be pretty expensive now for pure, like good, legit, known locality. And then there's more and more stuff that's being touted as Kalatoa that is probably not.
Leave her tail alone.
No, I got it. It's all good now. So those things do go up. So grab one of the Slayers while they're rare and nobody knows about them. It's one of those weird kind of reverse situations where they're rare and cheaper because no one's ever heard of them. Then once people know what they are, it's like everyone wants one, and the price goes through the roof. So, but yeah, how do I recommend ivory ball pythons? They're beautiful. If you're into that thing, buy one. I'm personally not like much of a ball python guy, but that's just because the species themselves are, like they're a little dull for me. If you want like a super chill, relaxed snake, they're fantastic. Just make sure you have immaculate husbandry. They get sick a lot easier than like the stuff that I work with. So, but I mean, for the money, it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to find a cheaper, cooler animal than an ivory ball python. So, yeah. What else we got?
We just have snakes to name.
snakes to name, and that's it.
And then we have our Patreon meeting.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to do an all Patreon meeting after this, but let's go name some snakes. Okay, guys, get your name generators ready. I'm going to show you some snakes that don't have names. We should probably grab our tape and label.
You have a super chat.
Woohoo! Yeah! All right. Super chat. Super chat. What is the super chat? You going to let me know?
Hold on. I figured this out. Okay, there. From Anna.
What's up,
When
Anna?
to stop pairing the mainland males to superdwarf females?
What did she say? What was the question?
When to stop pairing mainland males, to superdwarf females?
When to stop? I'm not quite sure what you mean. If you're talking about like timeline recommendations, stuff like that, because you're breeding, I would say if you're looking at like, okay, when am I done and I don't have to do this anymore, and that's your question, I say when in doubt, keep them together. You know, when there's eggs, you can stop pairing them. Keep it really simple that way. If you're talking about like, come on, Garrett, I hate that you keep putting mainland males to superdwarf females. When is the industry going to be past this? I'll tell you, I very rarely do mainland males to superdwarf females anymore. I think if you guys are out there and you're thinking about starting a superdwarf project, definitely if any morph that you are considering already exists in superdwarf, just buy it. You're saving yourself sometimes a decade's worth of work. And imagine the money that it costs to raise and breed and produce and sell all these snakes over that decade. You could start there 10 years ahead and move forward.
Super chat.
So, woohoo! So basically, what I would say is, as an industry, we should stop breeding mainlands to superdwarfs as we pull the, morph genetics and stuff like that we want in. Then we don't have to do that anymore. So I don't have any projects where like year after year I run a mainland male to a superdwarf female. It's always like one time, get the genetics, and then never again. And then just work on perfecting the bloodlines. What was our next super chat?
Natalia.
What's up, Natalia? Thank you, Anna and Natalia, for your support.
Not quite ready for superdwarf reticks just yet. Whoops, disappeared.
They're ready for you, though.
But can I get on a wait list for a Reach Out Reptiles corn snake?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my kids about that. We'll see. We may have some like high percent OKT scaleless tessera stuff next year. I don't know. But yeah, that's not my deal. That's the kids. They're getting them ready. I'll show you. They're looking good. You guys tell me, all you corn snake fans out there, this is our male. You think he's almost, he just shed. So this one is OKT. He's a red coat OKT. You think that guy's big enough to breed? What do you think? Is that a breedable one? Now, we're not going to breed him, till a little bit later in the spring, but 3-4 months from now, that sucker going to breed? Look at that. Oh, yeah. It's just like the storybooks when I was a kid. So that's the OKT male. That belongs to
Laura
Riley.
Wind Serpent says she has corns.
Corn. Laura, tell me, is that a breedable male? You tell me. And then here's our female.
She says they've had males half that size breed.
Okay. That's good to know.
And Anna says, when do they get too big for the pairing is what she was asking. For safety.
Okay. This is our female corn. So, I don't know. I mean, she's hefty. She's healthy. But I don't know. Is that a breedable female corn snake? I would kind of say yes. I mean, she's coming up on 3 years old, almost 3 years old. But this is a scaleless tessera, and she's 50% OKT. We're going to run her to you can see the white belly and all that.
Probably, Laura.
Yeah. So we're going to try them this year for the first time. And so we would get 75% OKT. I know no one else in the corn snake industry talks like that, but that's okay with me. 75% OKT. Half of them would be tessera because that's incomplete dominant. They'd all be 100% head scaleless, and she's a head anery as well, so they'd be pos head anery. So,
she's very soft.
Yeah. My daughter Kira has other plans. She has, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a bug-eyed house snake. Little minor rabbit trail here. Sorry, Jeff. We'll get to the naming in a minute, folks. Very patiently waiting. Hopefully the rest of this is entertaining for you. So there's a house snake species called a bug-eye that My daughter just thinks it's so cute, probably because it's called a bug eye. Let me see if I can get him to sit still for you. But they have these gigantic, oversized green eyeballs popping out of their heads. Look at that thing. Doesn't it look like I'm squeezing the dickens out of them? Super cute. And light colored, nice. Kira's idea is to take this African house snake and hybridize it to the scaleless. Look at those eyes. They look like gharial eyes or something. And hybridize it to our scaleless OKT corn. I don't know if I condone that behavior or not. I suppose it would be cool, but she wants to make a giant eyeballed snake with soft skin, apparently. I don't know. House snake, corn snake hybrids. I don't know. I'll tell you what, if you don't think that's a good idea, like this video. How about that? Does that even make any sense? I don't know if I'm gonna allow my children to go that crazy. Not that I'm like inherently against hybridization. It's captive breeding, guys. You know. So Anna, for your question, at a certain point, the male just does become too big. So it's kind of important to, plan those projects out, have your females up to size and ready, and then get a baby male of the morph you want. And then like as he's just old enough, it works best when they're like maybe 2 years old and on the small side to breed to those super dwarf females. It's pretty hard. I would say once they're like twice the size of the female, that's pushing it, So, I mean, I've seen a male that is bigger than the female breed the female, certainly. And that even happens with our super dwarves. Like our white diamond male, we're running to a really, really small female right now. And they're loving it. Those two he's probably twice her size, and they're good. So it's like a compatible pair. But I don't think you can take a 15-foot mainland male and run it to a little 7-foot super dwarf female or something like that. So I don't know if I have an accurate answer for you, but like the bigger the male is, the harder you're gonna be to be successful. All right, naming. Here we go. First up, I got 2 pure locality animals for you guys. We did one of those. Next week we'll get into it. These are my animals. I have a certain naming system. I can't tell you guys because it would ruin it for me. But I have a way that I do like to name them. But what we're going to do is...
but your way doesn't work, so we're going to do it this way.
I know. Well, it works great, and it brings me much joy, but it is slow. It takes a long time. It's kind of like Native American style. You got to earn your name type of deal or whatever. But this girl is a 2019, early 2019, so she's just coming up to her 2nd birthday. Excuse me. Pure Corona. Shouldn't joke. Pure Kalatoa female. This is Travis Kubis bloodline. I held her back because I was trying to pick out a het anery. I knew that there was anery sneaking around in these lines. One day I'd love to make pure Kalatoa anery. So I'm kind of back and forth in all my different pure Kalatoa lines, testing them every which way to see if I can get a visual anery out of them. But this is her. She's cute. She's little. I love her dorsal stripe. She's looking very anery these days. I don't know if you guys can see it in this lighting or not, because this isn't the greatest lighting, but she's definitely getting kind of her charcoal colored sides, that adult female Kalatoa look starting to come in, losing a lot of those baby golds and yellows that they have. So this is her. I'm looking for a name for my female Kalatoa, Travis Kubis line. Okay, so that's the first one. Go ahead and start leaving your comments. I'm gonna go back in the other room. We'll scroll through some of these and pick them out. That's the first one. So Kalatoa female, and I'm gonna show you another one. So if you want your name,
says Summer.
Summer says name it Summer.
Yes.
That's the best suggestion I've heard so far. So let's see, and then our other one. So do me a favor.
Aurora has a snake named Summer.
In the comments, if you want to name this one, make sure that you write. He's a pure Jampea and he's wild caught. So write Jampea and your name suggestion so that I know the names for that. Otherwise, just shout the names out and we'll credit it towards the Kalatoa. So this guy is the dad of our F1 Jamps.
Andrew says name it Jess.
Jess, we have.
There's a
we already-
Burmese python out there named Jessica.
Yeah, the lavender girl I showed you earlier, his name's Jess too. So, sorry, Andrew. I already got a Jess. Name's been taken.
But it's a good name.
Yeah. Need to make more of those, huh? So here he is. He's a good boy. Wild-caught Jampea male. Look at that dark, gravelly, speckly awesomeness from him. Look, his belly's almost black.
He's pretty.
He's pretty cool. So this is the dad of all the head aneries. I was kind of hoping he would prove anery. Certainly looks anery from here. He's like camo green. But he did not prove because the mom was a visual anery and they made none. So she's a visual anery we know because we've made a bunch of anery morphs with her over the years. That was owned by John Cashman.
Zoic Reptiles said the female should be Midge.
Midge? That's cute. Okay, so this is him. One unique feature about this guy that I love is this dark line. You see it? Like his belly comes up, but then this dark line comes in. It's just on the neck, but he's got this really cool dark line. It's right only up on the neck. You see that? So, original wild caught from the island of Jampea, Jamp male. He's not a youngster, but he was from a later import. So, I mean, he's certainly
We got
fully
Pete.
matured now.
We got Fernando.
All right, Jess, you're going to have to
We got
scroll through.
Donuts. Jasper.
Okay, we're going to do the Kalatoa right now. So, I heard Midge.
Margie for the girl.
I like Midge. Margie. Okay.
Daisy.
Daisy, that's kind of cute.
That is cute.
That sounds like a morph name to me, though. We got Summer.
What morph would that be?
Daisy?
Yeah.
I don't know. Marble Tiger. There.
Miguel. Miguel for the boy.
Miguel?
I like Miguel.
Miguel.
Bob, Darth Vader, Darlene, Clover, Hope, Gumby.
Midge is super cute. I might
Destiny.
save that for a future one. I kind of like Summer for the Kalatoa.
You can't save it.
Can I?
You have to pick it or
How about
not.
if I pick like two and then you guys vote and you crank them down? Did you cover all? Make sure you don't miss anybody.
Well,
for the
they're
female
still
Kalatoa.
going.
Okay, get him in now. We're gonna cut you off.
Lucius,
I'm gonna pick 'em.
Darby, Callie, Becky.
Callie's a little too obvious. I like it, but Becky.
Becky, yeah.
I like Becky. That's Jay Brewer's wife's name. We should totally name a Kalatoa after her. Okay. Did you get all the Kalatoas? All right. Kalatoa name. Here's my three favorite. I like
Douglas.
Summer. Douglas is not a girl's name, guys. Come on. I like...
Drake for the Jamp.
Okay, wait. Kalatoa. Here's
Hope
what we're going
for
to do.
the-
Summer, Midge, or Becky. All right? I want if... so we got number 1 is Summer. Number 2 is Midge. Number 3 is Becky. So out of those 3, what do you guys pick? Vote in the comments right now, and we'll do this up. We're not going to count total, because obviously, like, this is a live event if you're here right now, so just start shouting them out.
Becky.
And,
Now you
and
got them putting
the
in
most-
numbers. What was number 2?
Number 2 is Midge. So,
Becky, 2, 3, 2, 2.
well, that's a lot of midges.
Becky, 2.
I hear a couple of Beckys in there.
Becky,
Oh, Summer.
Summer,
They don't like it.
3, 3.
Becky.
Summer, 2. Midge, 2, 2.
Oh,
2.
man, you got to count. It's really close between 2 and 3.
I feel like
Midge
there's
is 2,
more
Becky
too.
is 3. So say Midge or Becky. Keep going. What do they got?
There's another Midge.
That sounds pretty close. I mean, I'm not there counting. Can you get a
There's
count?
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 midges in a row.
Okay, and then, well, that's just in a row.
Yeah.
How many Beckys?
3, 1.
Come
That's
on,
a lot
guys.
of midges.
You think it's midges?
I think.
Midge. All right, who guessed Midge?
Now I gotta scroll back for that.
Come on, Midge. Midge. I love it. All right, there it is. Midge for the Kalatoa. Okay, now we're on to the Jamps. So I heard Drake. I heard... Congratulations, Midge. You got it.
That was Zoic Reptiles was Midge.
Zoic Reptiles.
Mhm.
Zoic Reptiles, please, oh, you can't DM us. This is YouTube. All right, send us an email to info@reachoutreptiles.com. Give me your address. I got a free sticker for you and a picture of Midge because you named her. So that's pretty cool. Wild-caught Jamp for the sticker and the name. What do we have? What were some of them? I heard. Go ahead.
Oh, I gotta scroll back again.
Yeah, you gotta scroll back again. I want to hear all the. Read them out to me. It's gotta tickle my fancy.
Weren't you listening last time?
I was kind of listening. I heard Drake. That's the one I remember, which kind of seems to suit him. He probably also.
Drake was one. Yeah. Douglas.
Douglas. That was good. Douglas.
Pickles.
Pickles is too cute, man. That
Lucius. Darby.
Lucius. Darby.
Robert Paulson.
I like the two-name thing.
Gumby. I don't know which one that was for. I feel like it could be.
Cool. Well, good. I said he was green.
Darth Vader. Bob. Clover. Miguel.
Oh, Miguel. That was the other one I like. I like Drake and Miguel. The best, I think. Some of these are really good names.
Jasper.
But I'm just thinking, which name do I need my wild-caught Jamp mail to have? So if I don't pick it and you love your name, come back next week and vote in on the next one. Jasper. All right. You got any more? Get your Jamp name in right now.
Fernando.
Fernando is funny.
Lawrence. Pete.
Pete. That was the other one I like. Okay, here it is. Drake, Miguel, or Pete. That's it for the Jamp. Start screaming the names out. And Jess.
And we got Jim, George, Tarzan.
Tarzan's a cool one for a wild-caught male. All right. We'll do 4. Tarzan's in. All right.
Tarzan.
Drake, Miguel, Pete, or Tarzan. You guys vote. Start screaming out in the comments.
Drake, we got a Hector.
Give me the name. The number
Just the
thing
name.
was-
Don't do the numbers.
The number was confusing us too much. So Drake.
Tarzan, Drake, Tarzan, Drake.
Oh, man.
We got a super chat.
Super chat. That counts for at least 2. Woohoo! What's the super chat?
Dwarf Mall or Drake?
Dwarf Mall? Did they say or Drake in the super chat?
Yes.
Okay, that's a big count for Drake, guys. So if you want
Drake again.
that sound like Drake and
Tarzan.
You better
Miguel.
really hit the Tarzans, guys. If you want Tarzan, 'cause Drake is up there.
Tarzan.
Oh man, I don't know how many
Rodrigo.
super chat counts for. How many dollars was the super chat? We'll give it that many votes.
$1.99. So
Oh, it's
like
only
just
2.
under
Okay.
2.
So we'll call it 2. All right. So I'd say they're pretty fair then, yeah? Drake and Tarzan?
Tarzan. I don't know. Tarzan.
Okay, Tarzan's taking the lead. I like the wild aspect, wild caught, and Tarzan thing. That's a good one. Come on,
King
guys.
of the jungle.
It is, yeah.
Tarzan.
I think Tarzan it is.
Tarzan.
It's got to be, right? It sounds like
Horatio.
it's a landslide. Horatio, that's a good one. What's with all the Mexican names?
That's why Summer says that's why I said George. George of the Jungle.
Oh.
I like Tarzan.
You have to be a little bit more direct with me, Summer. It's late, and I don't get those kinds of connections. They go right over my head. But I like it. George of the Jungle. All right, guys. Tarzan it is. Who is the first one to say Tarzan to suggest that name? Please send
that's
us.
a lot of scrolling.
Please send us an email to, well, they know who they were. Send us an email to info@reachoutreptiles.com. Jess will confirm with you. We will get a picture of Tarzan and a sticker for you. How about that? I like it. I'm happy with this. So we got Natalia down here on the Karampa, Midge for the Kalatoa, and Tarzan for a wild-caught Jamp. That's pretty cool. All right. I like this new naming system. This is fun. I'm down.
We're late. We got another super chat. 2 more super chats.
2 more super chats. Woohoo! 2 more. That means you and me both have to dance.
No.
What?
You can
Come
dance.
on.
Oh, Drake was too late.
Oh, Quintana, an extinct land crocodile. Oh, that's a good one. Buaya Darat. I would have named it that. Does anyone know what Buaya Darat means? Buaya Darat. Come on, Indonesians. We got any Indonesians watching? We got two super chats here. Here's one for you. Woohoo! And here's one for you. Oh, yeah. Buaya Darat is what they used to call me when I lived in Indonesia. I'm fairly certain it was somewhat derogatory. Can anyone help us translate Buaya Darat. You mentioned Quintana, the extinct land croc. I love that, by the way. Definitely bring that one back for another one. And Drake. Drake was a good one. I just don't think it made it.
Where it says her super chat took entirely too long to go.
I'm sorry. You probably could have made
I think there was a lot of Tarzan.
There was a lot. We'll have to count them up then. Oh, man. Buaya Darat. Okay, I don't see any translation, so I'll just give it to you guys here. Buaya is crocodile. Darat is like land crocodile. And it's, so direct translation means nothing. But basically, it's like a sneaky predator that comes up on you and gets you while you're in the land. And so the reason why it's derogatory, they're basically like saying you're a player. That's what Buaya Darat means for Indonesian. So, yeah, there you go. I think it was the blue eyes. All of the girls liked the blue eyes because they had never seen them before, or at least not that often. Good times. Oh yeah, Matt likes Barczyk's crazy Indonesian story. Yeah, I literally like wrote down on a napkin and told them how to drive like 3 hours into the jungle and find this one cave full of retics, and they found it. So good times, good times. I love it. Oh man.
You're late for Patreon.
We're late. Patreon. We're gonna see you guys next. YouTube, we love you. Good night. We'll catch you next time.